So today I was listening to some think pieces about why some ethnic Black Americans, not all, some ethnic Black Americans do not associate or want to associate with the continent of Africa. And as an ethnic Black American, I can say that half of the think pieces that I watched were wrong. Okay. People are creating these big stories. And I'm not quite sure why they're creating it. Just the truth is that ethnic Black Americans are from the United States of America. And there are some ethnic Black Americans who don't look outside for any type of validation or anything. It's just, that's it. And then there are other ethnic Black Americans who like to learn about history and who like to learn beyond the ocean, and they like to learn about their forefathers here. So they like to learn about both. Their forefathers here in the United States of America, and then they'll try and find a link or something to um, not just Africa, but maybe even South America. Um, they'll try and find the pieces of every single puzzle. I know that I did. Um, I periodically go back in and I try and see who else has taken a test and say, oh my gosh, this person too, and then I'll try and link and see how far that goes back. So some people like to do both, and then there are other ethnic Black Americans who decide, well, let's go take a trip back and we're going to settle in the continent of Africa. Okay, and that's just basically it. All these think pieces are really odd to me. They're blaming it on this and they're blaming it on this and they're blaming it on this. It's really not even that deep. It's because it's put it like this. It's not that deep. Put it like this. If you were born and raised for centuries, your family for centuries in a country, right? And then all of a sudden you find out that you have more family um elsewhere, right? Before you got to, let's say, Nigeria, you were in I don't know, Mali. I'm just throwing the country out there, right? You're like, oh, so all of a sudden you're supposed to just pick up and just leave everything that you know for hundreds of years and then go back to Mali just because you find something out, or just because that doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't. And people are making it like oh, who would want to go, and I heard someone say the reason why ethnic Black Americans don't want to associate with Africa is because they from back in the day, they used to travel on animals and all that. Well, cars weren't invented way back in the day. So yeah, people walked and they traveled on animals. That's everywhere. So what has that got to do with anything? Like, that has nothing to do with it. And then I heard somebody else say, it was a people think that, the African continent is a jungle and all this. What? No, that has nothing to do with it either. There are jungles in every continent, just about. Guess which continent doesn't have a jungle? Antarctica. Okay? And so that has nothing to do with it. It's just a simple fact that this is our home. This is really our home. I'm not quite sure what people are thinking. Like, this is really our home. It has nothing to do with hatred. It has nothing to do with anything. This is our home. What the flip? This is our home. If we even go all the way back to the very beginnings of the transatlantic slave trade, it wasn't our enslaved forefathers that chose to be put off of Africa. Okay, that was a transaction done between European and African slave traders. That was a transaction. Okay, so to behave as if you creating a story, you know, many people are creating these weird scenarios about why and what and whatever. But just go, if you really want to know why these things happen, if you really want to know the truth about without adding information to it, the reason why ethnic Black Americans are over here, okay, is because back in the day, African slave traders and European slave traders traded to get us off, and they never wanted us to return. Fast forward to modern day, okay? Ethnic Black Americans are not immigrants to the United States of America, the country that we co-founded along with the indigenous and the white people. Okay? Therefore, this is actually our country. And our enslaved forefathers were put off forever the African continent. That's what happened. Okay, that is what happened. Creating all these think pieces around why is crazy. It has nothing to do with people riding on animals way back in the day, because everybody rode on animals and still do. Okay? It has nothing to do with jungles. Every continent has a jungle. Okay? So, except for Antarctica. Okay? It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just that's what happened in that's what happened in history. And so you can't expect 50 million people to just all of a sudden dislike where their parents and their grandparents, the soil that we come from. That's what we have. We have issues in the country. We have, just like people all over the world have issues within their country, but you don't see them saying, "Oh, all of us are going to move." It that Let's think reality. This is the reality. Ethnic Black Americans aren't up and moving. We're just not. We're just not. um, and it's okay. And it's okay. Some of us will. Just like the majority, no one in any other country in the world, the majority of their population does not up and move. The majority of their population remains where they are from, where they feel like is home, where they were born and their grandparents. Majority do that. I don't, y'all focusing on people who fly out and immigrants all over the world, okay? That does not make up the majority of the countries. That's a very small percentage of people who decide to relocate and move. Most people in every country remain where they are, in the country of their forefathers. That's just the reality. So these think pieces, making stuff more complicated than what it is, it's literally the same reason why many people all over the globe do not want to associate with North America. They're fine where they are. Or Australians don't care to travel to South America. Or it's the same thing as why some Europeans just don't want to travel to North America or Africa. They're fine where they are. It's just, that's just the reality. Everybody does not want to move somewhere else just because they have ancestry somewhere else. Like for instance, the the African American diaspora. We have that, right? In Canada, in Africa, even in Mexico, right? We have it, okay? We have our own. I don't expect them. I do not expect them to say, "Oh, I have ancestors, my ancestors who are Black American, who are ethnic Black American. I'm gonna go back there because that is where I belong. Back there. No, you don't belong here. You can come here. I welcome you because you're us. To me, in my eyes, you are me. But I also respect the fact that I also respect your perspective of you being who you are because you developed a culture over here in Mexico, over in Canada, you know, over in wherever you are, okay? In Liberia, where I respect the fact that you know what I'm saying, you don't have to say, "Oh, I actually belong over here." No, you actually belong where you are. But if you want to come, hey, we cool. Because I know who you are. I know why you coming back over here. Because you want to come live with us or whatever, right? But if you don't, it's still cool. I'm not gonna invent some reason because you have been in Mexico since I'm gonna just throw out a number, 19th century or the 18th century. You've been there for that long. And you understand, yes, my forefathers came from Black America, right? But at the same time, you call yourself something else right now, right? Because you are something else right now. That's your ethnic group, right? But if you want to, you can come and you can be like, hey, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I'm related to you because blah, 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 blah. I'd be like, cool, we sure are. Cuz, sis, whatever, right? But they aren't wrong for wanting to remain in Mexico. They just aren't wrong for wanting to remain in Mexico. And it does not mean that they have something against me, their ancestor. Okay? It doesn't mean that they have something against me. That's their home. The flip?